Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Now this video I'm going to try and keep short, but I want to feature 4 or 5 lenses that are great for the Nikon Z DX or crop sensor camera bodies, and I've got them for the Nikon Z50 and Nikon Z30. This is the Z50. And it's one of my favourite compact cameras. I say compact, it is actually a mirrorless camera with interchangeable lenses. But I think now's a fantastic time to be investing in the Nikon Z DX or the crop sensor camera bodies, such as the ZFC, the Z30 and the Z50. I think they represent amazing value for money for what they can do, but also the lenses for them. If you're buying the Nikon branded or Nikon owned lenses, they're amazing value for money, and they're sharp, they're really gorgeous lenses. Even the kit lens. Now I've got on here the Nikon 16-50 kit lens on my Nikon Z50. It is a retractable kit lens, so you I call it turn it off and on. So turn it right way round to where the little white dot is, that turns it off, and then turn it around for taking photographs. It's a 16-50 lens, so in full frame terms, that's 24-75. So that covers your standard range from wide to sort of short telephoto or portrait lens. And it is a really nice lens. It's sharp, and it takes great images. I will go through some of the images on my computer here of these various lenses I'm talking about, but I can highly recommend these lenses, and they're not expensive. That's why I'm recommending them, because they are certainly not expensive, particularly if you buy from the used market. So you don't need to spend a fortune to get a camera system that takes great images. The only thing I would be conscious of with all of these lenses is that the aperture range is quite limited, so they're not fantastic in low light. But because it's got an APS-C sensor, you can crank the ISO up to some extent to mitigate the fact that these lenses don't shoot wide open to f2.8, f2 and what have you. They do make f2.8 lenses and f2 lenses in the DX range. I haven't got them. There is a 24mm f2, I think, it might be f2.8. I haven't got that lens, but even that isn't expensive. It's about 250 quid. So, you know, they really are great value for money lenses. So, yeah, this is the 16-50. Now, this is f3.5 to 5.6. So, again, not great in low light, but f3.5 isn't too bad at the 24mm end, but the sharpness is really nice with this lens. This lens does only weigh 135 grams, so if you want to keep it in your kit bag all the time, you're not even going to know it's there. It's worth getting. It's a nice cheap lens. The image quality is lovely with this lens. I've taken a few images in Cirencester and various other places, and I've used this lens quite a few times. I just like this lens, again, as a travel lens. The sharpness is great, the contrast is lovely, and it works really well with the Z50. Just is such a nice combination. So yeah, I can highly recommend this lens if you want a really cost-effective kit lens to go with your camera body, or as a great street photography lens with the likes of the Z50 or even the Z30 and the ZFT to some extent, but I find the ZFC not so comfortable to use as what the Z50 is. Another great lens in the lineup is the 12-28, which in full frame terms is 18-42. It's a really nice lens. Doesn't come with a lens, and I bought that separately, but really light. No weight to that. Again, keeping that in your kit bag. I generally keep that on the camera all the time, and then just put the kit lens actually just in the side pocket. So this usually stays on my Nikon Z50 and the other lenses I use as and when I need them. But 12-28, great lens in the APS-C range. It is a power zoom lens, so you can use the snap bridge up to control the zoom, or you can use the zoom ring on the actual lens, and also you can control the zoom via the buttons actually on the back of the camera. I tend not to do that. I tend to use the zoom ring, but yeah, it's got a really nice zoom ring as well. It does work beautifully, it does look really well. I thought as a power zoom that I would find that annoying that there is no stop, when you get to the wide or you get to the telephoto end, but it's so beautifully controlled, but you don't notice it. And as I said, it has got a control ring. You can set up for manual focus, adjusting the aperture, adjusting the ISO or exposure compensation. So yeah, really, really nice lens. Again, it's not a low light beast. It's the same as the kit lens. It's a 3.5 to 5.6 aperture. So yeah, it's okay in low light at its widest zoom setting, but it's not the best. But again, you can crank up the ISO if you're photographing static subjects, so it's not too much of a problem there. Or you can use slower shutter speeds, because this lens, along with the other lens, it has got vibration reduction or image stabilization in the lens, because these camera bodies have no in-body image stabilization, it's in the lens. And again, that's a lovely thing with these lenses, but they do have built-in image stabilization in the lens. And as I say, no weight to this lens whatsoever. Image quality from this lens is as good as you're going to get from, you know, many other APS-C lenses, but at a lot less price. I'm absolutely delighted with the image quality that this lens produces. It's sharp across the range, lovely colours, lovely tonal range, very little distortion, nothing that your photo editing software can't correct. But again, great range. That's at its widest, that is at its telephoto end. Yeah, great all-round lens that I can highly recommend for your Nikon ZFC Z50 or Z30. Another great lens would be the 18 to 140. That's pretty much a standard lens that covers everything, doesn't it? It covers wide right through to telephoto. Or short telephoto. So again, the 18 to 140, that and this lens is probably all you need. The 12 to 28 and the 18 to 140. In full frame terms, that's 27 to 210. So it's wide angle to telephoto. So everything in one lens. And I think that is great. And again, the image quality from the 18 to 140 is lovely. Wide angle and telephoto. There's wide angle, let's do that. Wide angle, and there's telephoto. And you know, again, really, really nice sharp images. I'm delighted with these lenses. And again, that's a standard lens. You could just keep those two lenses in your camera bag, and that's all you're going to need. One camera body, two lenses, and that's all you need. Fantastic way of going out for the day with very, very little kit and very, very lightweight kit. Again, with all the other lenses, it's not a low light beast. It's 3.5 at the wide aperture to 6.3 when you get in at you know, the telephoto end. So just be a bit conscious of that. But you know, still a really, really nice lens to keep in your camera bag. The last lens I want to look at today is the 50 to 250 lens, Z DX lens. Again, it's a great sports lens or wildlife lens if you want to do wildlife photography, sports photography or whatever. It's equivalent to 75 to 375 in full frame terms. So great coverage with this lens. So if you had this lens along with the 18 to 140, or even if it was just this lens and the 12 to 28 lens, you've got everything covered at very low prices. Take a look at the current prices on the used market of these lenses. You'll be really, really surprised how cheap they are, but don't equate cheap with poor quality, because they're not poor quality. They are plastic lenses and they have got plastic mounts and no weather sealing. So all the lenses have a plastic mount and no weather sealing. So do have to be a little bit careful how you handle them. They're not professional lenses to be used, you know, day in, day out. Well, I think you can if you're, you know, relatively careful with how you handle them. But the image quality, again, is beautiful with these lenses. It does trombone quite a bit when you zoom it out, but it's a nice lens if you only want to, particularly if you're only doing occasional sports photography or occasional wildlife photography. Again, I love photographing me cats as little Molly, but you get really nice sharp images, whatever it is you're photographing. And the animal eye detect works great on the Z50. So, you know, It's an all-round combination. All these lenses are great for your Nikon Z50, Z30, ZFC, whatever. And I say, and although they're not bokeh lenses, because of the aperture range on these lenses, you can get creamy bokeh in the background if you zoom in at the tight end of the lens as opposed to using the wide angle end of the lens. You can see there, Sammy is being thrown completely out of focus from the background, so it is achievable. Even, you know, nice pictures like that, it has thrown a background out of focus, and it's great that it has picked up, it has featured what I'm trying to photograph. There is separation between the subject I'm photographing and the background. So yeah, I think these are wonderful lenses, great prices for the Nikon Z50, ZFC and Z30. So there we go, a quick roundup of the Z DX lenses from Nikon for those camera bodies. I hope you found that useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content of my videos. Would really appreciate that. It does help me grow the channel. Thanks very much. Cheers for now. Bye.